Today on Alley Picked, I'm going to show you 8 whoa, that's big, incredible antique woodworking restoration projects that I've done over the past 6 months. I need to get a new editor. The only thing good about going to a funeral is that you get to reconnect with friends and family, people you haven't seen in a long time. Last year, at a funeral, I reconnected with Mary Jo, a childhood friend who just happens to own an 8,000 square foot antique store. Now, this chance meeting turned out to be an amazing connection for both of us. Probably the most significant accidental meeting since, well...
Hey! Oh, hey, you got your chocolate and my peanut butter!
Peanut butter on my chocolate.
What?
What?
Delicious.
I'm always in need of restoration projects for my videos. Mary Jo and her husband Bob are always in need of someone to fix and restore their antiques. I basically get to take anything from the store that I want, use it for a video, then return it to the store where it goes back on sale, only at a much higher price once it's been restored. And that's a match made in junk heaven. Now, I want to show you a brief montage of 7 incredible restoration projects that I've done from items I borrowed at Beyond Grandma's Antique Store. And if you watch my channel regularly, you've probably already seen most of these videos. But after these quick 7, you're going to get to see one new restoration. And this 8th one is the most meaningful. It's not just another antique belonging to Mary Jo and Bob. This one is personal.
This is gorgeous, Tom.
Ta-da! Wow, Tom, it's beautiful. Holy cow. One, two, three.
Oh, wow. That's beautiful.
We got a 1, 2, 3. Ta-da! What the heck, dude?
Cool.
And now, our feature presentation.
So this piece was my mother's, and she had it for years, and she stored her candle pieces in it, and she stored a bunch of stuff in there and had it hidden with ugly red curtains that I didn't like. It sat in her dining room since I was a child.
This is a beautiful desk. If you can overlook the bumps, the bruises, the splits, the chips, the cracks, the broken joints, the missing pieces, and the peeling veneer. But once I'm finished restoring this is going to look amazing. This is what the 1920s desk looked like when I picked it up from Beyond Grandma's house. I brought it home and put it on my workbench, where I got a closer look at all the repairs needed. I usually start a project like this by removing all of the hardware and carefully storing the parts in a container so I don't lose any. I take off all the doors and remove the drawers. Then I can begin my repairs. This desk requires so many individual repairs. I just start repairing them one at a time until there are no more. I cut splices where there's gaps in the wood like this, where you just can't clamp them together. I take apart loose joints, drill out and replace any broken dowels. Where you have some loose joints like this that just don't want to separate, instead of causing more damage, I just try to separate them slightly, just enough to be able to squirt some glue into the joint. For separated veneer like this on the front drawer, I don't need to remove the whole thing. I just need to separate it enough, squirt some glue inside the gap, and let it drip down for a couple minutes, as far as it can go. Sometimes I even water down the glue a bit so it can seep down even deeper. Now I'll clamp a piece of wood along the entire edge in order to apply equal pressure and let it dry overnight. These supporting triangle blocks underneath have dried up and separated. I'll remove, resand, and reglue. While there were countless repairs I made, the most challenging was this cabinet door. Here you can see how warped it is. I wasn't sure how I was going to fix it, so I came up with a plan. I soaked the door with water and then put a board on top with some weights, hoping it would flatten out. 24 hours later, my experiment partially worked. It did flatten out the door, but 2 corners were split. I then squirted some glue into the split, clamped them together, and weighed it down, hoping it would dry flat. Well, it pretty much worked. There's only a small warp in the door. Good enough and way better than it was. With most of my repairs complete, I'll play some catchy assembly music and then I'll start the fun part, putting this all together and revealing it to Mary Jo and Bob.
Oh my God.
Looks brand new. Well, you used the black stuff too? I didn't know you were going to
Tom,
use that.
this is gorgeous.
That really came out wonderful.
Oh my God. This is beautiful. Oh, and the doors work so nice. And there's backs to it. This was my mom's candles. She had them all in there. Wow. Oh my God.
It looks perfect now.
Wow. This is amazing.
To say that Mary Jo and Bob were pleased with the results would be a massive understatement, as they stood there for an additional 3 weeks just staring into its beauty and majesty.